Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's gonna work. Dude, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna look like an idiot. Whatever, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Don't shoot this, dude. Let me make sure I can do it. All right, I'm just gonna do it. Please work, please work, please work. Woo! All right, we are here. We're at the spot, the quintessential spot in Bentonville for drops. This one is Drop the Hammer. I'm sure you've heard about it, even if you haven't ridden here at the Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve in Bentonville. So why are we here? Well, we're here to film the follow-up on the drop video, which it got a ton of attention, which I am pumped about because it grew the subscriber count. Now, what I'm not so pumped about is some of the comments. And what I bring it back to is I didn't do my job in completely conveying the message. So a lot of people were concerned that on bigger drops, the 1, 2, 3 technique would not work. So we're here to show you it actually does work. And I personally found it comical that people alluded to I couldn't use that technique on this drop. I've done it many times, and I'm gonna show you today how I do it. But I need to reiterate something that I thought I made clear in the first video and obviously didn't. The first movement, the first position is get as low as you can to the bars. I think everybody understood that. Now the second is to fire the bike down to the ground as quickly as you can. And what I should have said was as quickly as you can for that given situation. So this drop behind me, I don't know, it's roughly 12 feet or so. So what I'm going to do is time the second movement. Time the movement of the bars in my arms to match the distance traveled in space. So essentially what's gonna happen is, step 2, it's gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow it way down because I'm gonna be in the air for a decent amount of time. I think that's the biggest thing that was missed with this was people thought that I was telling you, when you rolled off something this big, fire the front down and flip yourself right over the bars. That's not what I'm telling you, I promise. So now, I'm gonna show you what the 1, 2, 3 technique looks like on a bigger drop. And we have 3 of them here. We're gonna hit them all. You ready to do it? I am, I think. Is it gonna work? Let's go. All right, let's talk about a couple of the comments that alluded to riders manualing off of something like this. Now, we're fresh off the manual how-to. And what you're gonna see in the slow-mo clips here, it's gonna look nothing like it did when I did a manual. So 2 things here. First is, I'm not gonna manual off this. And I like to think I'm a pretty decent rider. Second is, a manual is a very advanced maneuver. So if you're out there and you're a beginner or an intermediate rider, I think you should be doing drops 8 inches, 12 inches, maybe even 18 or 2 feet. But I'm not gonna expect you to manual off of those. You should be doing 2-foot drops and be very comfortable with them before you're comfortable in a manual. That just makes more sense to me. Okay, let's cover a few key points here before we move any further forward. If you take a look at this, you get the rider's perspective of what's happening on this drop. It's a big drop. It's a very menacing looking drop. But honestly, it isn't that bad because it's designed very well. This outcropping sits way further forward than most people think. And if you look down there, you can see there's a really good angle to that landing. Now, me as a rider, I want to come off this and very quickly match that angle. Land down there as high as I possibly can and match that angle as much as possible. That's my technique, that's what I'm after. So in order to do that, I don't want to bring too much speed into this and I don't want to go too deep. The further out I go means the further down means more velocity, means more downward momentum. And I don't dig that. I don't find that fun personally. So what I want to do is I want to try and stay low. I want to try to get the bike down as quickly as I can with the speed I'm moving in space. Dude, I certainly hope we don't get as many negative comments on this one. That hurt my feelings a little. So what you have here is something that's obviously much mellower than what you have over there, but it gives you an opportunity to try to hone the technique. So a lot of similarities, this is just scaled down. So you have this, which you could pretend is that big outcropping, and then you have this space right here that you need to get down to where you could pretend this is the road. So what's great is you can roll up, bring some speed into this, and you can slowly slow down to where you land right there on the downside and try to play with that technique a little bit. All right, you come up, carrying a little bit of speed. I'm gonna drop in that one and push it down. All right, all right, all right. So now we've transitioned over to the last in a series of 3 drops, beginning with drop the hammer. And one thing we're going to address here is speed and how much speed you need to hit it. That's something that I can't just tell you that. As a rider, you have to figure that out in the given situation. Physics and gravity apply. And what that means is you're gonna have to bring enough speed in to get to where you need to go. That's just a given. Now, being able to modulate that speed, that comes with time and it comes with repetition. So in a scenario like this, if you can have somebody that's really comfortable tow you in, that sets that barometer for you and that makes it a little bit easier. So if you have that luxury, I would say take that luxury. Now, if you don't, one of the things that I think this comes back to, and people have alluded to this in the comments, that what I'm doing is scrubbing. You call it whatever you want. I don't care. The technique is the technique. Now, in a race run, yeah, I'm gonna call it scrubbing because I'm gonna be a little bit more purposeful in what I'm doing. For this, I'm just trying to get down as quickly as I can. So the same thing applies here, but for this, I'm bringing in a little bit more speed generally, and it's not as far. So what I have to do is think about that and make those adjustments. So I have to be careful to not go too far. In a situation like this, when you're coming downhill and you're carrying speed, it's rare that you're not gonna go far enough. It's more common you go too far. And I can tell you, I don't want any part of that. All right, here you go. You're gonna come in, it's gonna be dynamic. I'm tall, drop into the 1, 2, takes the time to get to the bottom. All right, here you go. You come in, standing tall, drop into the 1, 2, takes the time to land. All right, so we're at the second drop of the 3 here at Drop the Hammer. Now, this one looks a little menacing because there's a bit of a rise, but trust me, if you get up on top of this step up, the speed you carry through the turn is plenty to get you on the downside of this. So again, it's the same thing. I wouldn't categorize this as just a drop because there's a little bit more of a gap, but I'm gonna use the same technique and you're gonna see, I can roll in from the top of the berm. I don't even need that much speed. Come in tall, down into the 1 and the 2. Okay, here we go. You ready to drop the hammer? All right, I'm gonna roll in nice and slow. Couple pedal strokes, standing tall, drop into the 1, down with the 2, just like that. You're gonna see you don't need a whole lot of running, pretty short. So I'm gonna get a couple pedal strokes. I'm gonna stand tall, drop into the 1, the 2, hips back over the bottom bracket. All right, there you have it. The drop update complete. Now, hopefully we answered some questions, we clarified things a bit more. Now, as you can see behind me, this thing, it's menacing, yes. Doable, yes. So it comes back to this. There's a ton of different ways to do drops. You do you. All right, wear what you dig. But for me, I'm gonna follow the TRS standard and I'm gonna use the 1, 2, 3 technique. And hopefully now you've seen with this video that when you apply that technique, man, the results are good. These things right here, they're big. They're fun to look at. It's cool to do when people are watching you. I get it, I'm with you. Now the idea is, it's even cooler if you land it and you land it safely. So now I hope you feel a little bit better about the 1, 2, 3 technique and how to implement it. Now with that being said, we got more in the can. We're getting ready to drop some more how-tos pretty soon. So make sure you've subscribed, clicked the bell, and that'll let you know when new stuff's coming. Beyond that, you want to learn to do this in person? Ride Series Clinic is the place to do it. So check out the rideseriesmtb.com. That'll give you an idea of where the upcoming dates are. Got a lot of them coming up here in beautiful Bentonville. It might be time for you to visit Bentonville and come bike Bentonville. With that, you know what's gonna happen. We're gonna go shred these some more. So, peace out, dumpers.